I've been running the Insta360 Go 3 for about 6 months now, and I wanted to do an updated review on this camera to let you know, do I still think it's worth the money? I have to call the Insta360 Go 3 the best non-action action camera on the market. Let me explain. Now, I'm not saying by any means that this camera can't do action sports. Actually, it's the exact opposite. I think it does a fantastic job of that. I use this camera primarily in the freeform mode, which gives you that max stability. It's going to allow you to use Insta360's Flowstate stabilization, as well as giving you the ability to reframe your video to be vertical or horizontal depending on where you're going to post it or what you need it for. I've used this camera mountain biking and one-wheeling. I think the stability was really good, the image quality was really crisp, really clear, and it just looks really good. It gives you a nice high quality image. And the battery life on this camera is really great, especially for a camera that only has one battery that you have to kind of recharge. I've taken this camera one-wheeling and I left it in the action pod, and I one-wheeled for over 2 hours and I still had about 15% battery life left, and I left this camera on the entire time. As well as mountain biking, I've used this camera as my only camera for a full day at the bike park, and what I was doing was I would actually pop the camera out of the action pod, mount it up, ride with it, and then when I get to the bottom and get back on the lift, I put it back in the case and allow it to recharge on the way up. Out of the case, Insta360 has this camera has a 17-minute battery life, and doing top to bottom mountain bike runs, I never had it die on me, and it recharged fast enough I was able to just do that all day. Also, where it is so small, it makes it really awesome if you are a mountain biker for a chest mount, because with that small tiny camera it doesn't really have any weight to it, so when you put it on your chest cam it doesn't get a lot of wobble or wiggle, and I think it gives you a really stable image, and it's so small and convenient you kind of forget that it's down there. I definitely plan on using this snowboarding on my helmet as well as on the selfie stick, and I can't wait to see what it does for that. I think the slow-mo mode on it does a really great job. I think it gives you a solid slow-mo image and a great frame rate. And also, I did just want to highlight using Insta360's quick mounting system. It makes this camera really easy to mount, whether it's in the action pod or whether you have the camera out by itself. It just makes switching different mounting options really fast and really convenient. Definitely my favorite form of camera mounting to date that I have used. The reason I call it the best non-action action camera is because, yes, like I said, it does great as an action camera, but it also, where it's so small, portable, kind of inconspicuous and easy to use, it makes it really great for non-action camera needs as well. I think this is great for little things if you're with your family or you're walking or, you know, doing just small things. It's so portable and convenient to use that you can just kind of pack it anywhere on the off chance that you might want a camera to capture something small where you don't necessarily need a full-blown action camera for, but you still want to be able to capture those memories. I think the necklace mount for this does a really great job because you can just kind of wear that pendant under your shirt, stick the camera to your chest, and you have an awesome portable camera right there that you don't even have to hold. As well as the hat mount that Insta360 offers, you can kind of just clip it to the back of your hat. You forget it's up there, and when you need it, turn the camera on, and when you don't, turn it right back off. This is definitely something I plan on utilizing more as I have this camera. I don't use it enough because it is just so easy and convenient to use. Another thing I like doing with this camera is giving these really fun POV shots. I'll pop the camera in my mouth and walk around, and it gives a great first person shot. I think this camera would be great for vlogging because it does, where it is so small and portable, but also has that flip up screen where you can see yourself. And I really like this screen as a whole, whether it's rear facing, front facing. It's really easy to use. It's a great touch screen. The image looks great. It's also very responsive. One really fun thing this camera can do that no other camera can do is remove the camera from the action pod but still use that touch screen to preview your shot. I've had this as far as 15-20 feet away, and it still remained connected to the action pod, and it allows it to be really easy if you're trying to set up a shot and then film something. I've used this one-wheeling, mountain biking, and it just makes for a really convenient filming option. I've ran into no issues whatsoever with this camera. I know I've seen some people mention overheating, but even on that day where I left it on for 2 hours and I've filmed with it for as long as 30 minutes straight, this camera's never overheated, never done anything wonky or locked up where I've had to hold the power button and make it reset. This camera has always performed perfectly for me, and I haven't had any issues whatsoever. I think this camera is perfect for somebody who wants to have an action camera, but also one that's going to be a little bit more versatile, something for family activities or just, small little things. I think this camera is a very versatile camera, and you can get a lot of use out of it, and it's just really fun and easy to use. Personally, I have the 64 gig model, and I think it does really well, but if you're picking this up as your only action camera, and even if not, I think it's still worth spending the extra $30 because you're going to get a 120 gig model, and it's going to double your memory for 30 bucks. That's my only gripe, is I do wish I went for that bigger memory model. But the 64 gig has done well, and I think especially if you're running multiple cameras, it'll do well for you as that. If you do use my link, I have this camera link down in the description as well as the comments below. You do get a free extra lens guard. I think out of all the cameras I've used, this camera has the best lens guard on the market because you don't see it. It doesn't seem to distort your image quality any whatsoever, and it's going to keep your lens protected. No matter the, a lot of times with different cameras, when you throw a lens protector on there, it distorts that image. That's not the case with this camera. You don't get those weird lens flares or weird distortion spots. This lens protector does a fantastic job. If you have any questions about this camera, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to do my best to help you out. Thank you guys for checking this out. I hope you got some value out of this. We'll see you in the next one soon.
Ah, that was sick. That was awesome.
I didn't know what it would look like on the other side.
So glad you hit that.
You're welcome.